Good evening and welcome to our first episode of Golden Eagle Sports Report for this school year.
The nationally ranked volleyball team is on a roll and a crosstown rival is coming to Valley Fields.
Get ready, Marquette Nation, because Golden Eagle Sports Report starts right now.
Slam dunk! Oh, that's a poster.
Live from the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University, this is Golden Eagle Sports Report.
Marquette gets the rebound, and the champions have gone down!
Hello, everyone. I'm Jackson Gross.
And I'm Emma Kroll.
The Marquette men's soccer team welcomes in crosstown rival University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee to Valley Fields tonight.
With action almost underway, men's soccer beat reporter Ava Mayers is live from Valley Field to preview the matchup. Ava?
Thanks, Jackson and Emma. Here at Valley Fields, in just few minutes actually, the crosstown rivalry is about to kick off between Marquette and the Milwaukee Panthers. Though the two teams haven't played since 2019 due to COVID, they have a long history with each other, dating all the way back to 1973. In fact, head coach for Marquette, Lewis Bennett, has an even longer history with both teams, as he originally served as the Panthers head coach before coming over to Marquette. Leading Marquette right now is Abdul Karim Pari, who is leading in scores and will and all points and assists and tied as well. And he will be interesting to watch tonight, as both teams have developed a lot in these past 2 years. Definitely tune in after the program. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Ava. Great stuff. Marquette is coming into this game hoping to bounce back from a heartbreaking 3-2 loss to Yale. The Bulldogs put the Golden Eagles to the test early when senior defender Sigfus Arneson finds the back of the net in the 7th minute. Neither team can score again, and Marquette heads to the locker room down 1-0. In the second half, the energy shifts and Marquette ties the game in the 47th minute when senior forward Lucas Sunason cashes in on a penalty shot. The drama does not stop there, as Yale retakes the lead in the 58th minute, scoring their own penalty shot after Marquette's Tristan Ronestad-Stevens commits a penalty in the box. In the 80th minute, Sunason ties the game once again on his second penalty shot of the night. 5 minutes later, Marquette goalkeeper Chandler Hallwood punches a Yale player and receives a red card, disqualifying him from the match. Yale goes on to score the penalty shot and wins the game 3-2, handing the Golden Eagles their second straight loss. How is the women's soccer team faring early on in their season? Find out after the break.
Bring it. Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home.
Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one? I gotta go eat, man. Sorry. I'll see you later.
precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to load their minds. Dare to explore. Dare to STEM. Learn more at She Can STEM.
Welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report. Once again, I'm Jackson Gross.
And I'm Emma Kroll. The women's soccer team hosts Western Michigan in their non-conference finale. Marquette's offense is clicking early, scoring a goal in the first 4 minutes of the match. Kate Gibson continues the momentum for the Golden Eagles, netting another goal and giving the Eagles a 2-0 lead before the half. Returning to the field in the second half, Marquette continues to keep the pressure on Western Michigan, playing keep away for the remainder of the game. Michigan is held to only 3 shots in the second half after shooting 7 in the first. Marquette pushes forward with the victory, 2-0, advancing 4-3-1 in the regular season.
Moving on to volleyball, the number 19 ranked Golden Eagles hope to extend their winning streak to 6 games when they hosted the then number 25 ranked Illinois Fighting Illini on Saturday night. The Fighting Illini come out hot out of the gates, jumping out to an 11-4 lead early in set 1. Then Marquette comes storming back with the help from both Jenna Reitzma and Hattie Bray to take a 20-19 lead, but Illinois ultimately takes set 1 25-23. Set 2 is all Marquette with sophomore defensive specialist Jaden Garrison serving on a 6-0 run, giving Marquette a 13-9 lead and ultimately a set 2 victory. Illinois bounces back in set 3, going on a 23-10 run and find themselves a set away from pulling off the upset. With their backs against the wall, Marquette regroups and finds momentum in the 4th set and does not look back. The Golden Eagles go on to win the match in 5 sets behind sophomore outside hitter Jenna Reitzma's career-high 17 kills.
My connection with Yadi was great today. I mean, she was chucking up beautiful balls off of some passes that we were fighting off that weren't perfect, and I think that she did a really good job at finding me out there. And I guess just for me, I need to be confident, and I think if I'm confident, I kind of get better swings and find different placements and stuff. So I think that overall, that kind of played into it.
In their second game of the weekend, Marquette welcomes in Illinois State, closing out non-conference play. Proving to be dominant, Aubrey Hamilton comes out swinging, earning kills from both the front row and back row attacks. She earns 15 kills on 25 swings. Carly Skrabach puts up an excellent defense showing. She tallies a total of 10 digs, shutting down a strong Illinois State offense. A key component from the service line, with Marquette outscoring Illinois State 6-3 on service aces alone. A strong finish from Hamilton helps Marquette earn the clean sweep over Illinois State.
With this win, Marquette now moves to 9-1 to their best 10-game start since 2009. The Golden Eagles have now set their sights on repeating as Big East champions when conference play begins on Wednesday. Now, with all that said, we would like to welcome in our volleyball beat reporter, Ben Schultz, back to the program. Ben, it's awesome to have you back on.
It's great to be here.
Well, let's go ahead and get underway as the women's volleyball team is coming off 2 victories this past weekend, one over a ranked team in Illinois and over Illinois State. What went right in those 2 games over the weekend?
Yeah, so against Illinois, they kind of got out to a slow start, but in every set that they won, they had more kills than Illinois, which is a great place to start. Illinois is also known as they like to attack from the serve, and they had a lot of errors from the service line, which helped give Marquette more points. Marquette was very diligent about how they served. And against Illinois State, they were able to close them out. They beat Illinois the day prior, and so they kind of slowed down that momentum, got on them early. Aubrey Hamilton had that big game of 15 kills, which is always helpful for those Golden Eagles.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was on the broadcast with Nate Moore on Saturday night. Just see 15 service aces from a team that has done so well in Illinois. Just to see them have that type of night was shocking to me. But we're going to go ahead and move on. After beating a ranked team and going 2-0, this weekend, the Golden Eagles did not move in the latest AVCA coaches poll and are still sitting at number 19. Ben, I know we kind of talked a little bit in our group chat over the days, but what do you think?
Yeah, so initially after I sat there refreshing, waiting for the rankings to be refreshed, I was a little unsure of why that was the case. So then today I kind of looked into it a little bit more. Pepperdine is the only team who passed them, and they beat number 6 Minnesota over the weekend. So it makes sense. Another Big East team, Creighton, they lost to Rice over the weekend, and so they dropped back. So now Marquette is the highest ranked team from the Big East in those rankings. So I'm not as shocked as I was initially, but I still thought they could have gone up a little bit after they had a nice solid 3-0 week. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised as well. Like, we also saw Florida take on UW-Madison and get the upset there as number 16 over number 6. So lots of movement going on there. But in terms of looking back at the Golden Eagles, 2 big players from Ryan Tice's squad have been sophomore middle blocker Hattie Bray, who I was able to talk to for a feature story this week for the Marquette Tribune, and also the newcomer and junior outside hitter Aubrey Hamilton. What have you liked from them so far?
Yeah, so Aubrey came out game 1, had a massive game in their win against number 11 Kentucky. So ever since that, she's had a lot to live up to, and she's done so well at that. She's a 6 rotation player, plays all the way around, can serve, can hit, gets digs in the back. Just a really good all-around player, filling in after Marquette lost so many players last year. And then Hattie, she redshirted last year and was inserted right into the starting lineup this year. I like to say that she hits just about as hard as former Marquette volleyball player Savannah Rennie. She has a nice little slide to the right side and can really put a lot of power on those attacks.
I think specifically you said, and I'm going to quote you on this, that Hattie Bray has a cannon for a swing. But she's been awesome, and it was awesome to learn a lot about her, not only as a player, but she does a lot of fun things. Like during that redshirt year, she also she focused on hairstyles to kind of get herself motivated. And then when she finally got to play against Kentucky, she wasn't focused on the scouting report or who's going to do what. She's like, what hairstyle am I going to wear? And it really helped her relax. And I think she's been able to continue that so far in the play, and she's looked really good. So,
yes, she's exciting to watch. She's really exciting to watch.
So on Saturday, Marquette volleyball alum Sarah Rose made her to return to the Al McGuire Center during her battle with Ewing sarcoma. How great was it to see her back home?
Yeah, it was great. Last season there wasn't maybe as many fans as Marquette volleyball is used to, and so in front of a crowd of over 1,100, there was a lot of people cheering for her. Everyone was wearing yellow for pediatric cancer, so that was super cool. Seeing her interact with all the fans, all the coaches, even some of the players that she used to play with, that was really heartwarming.
Yeah, and it was great to see her again. I was able to write the story on her when they were first going to do the gold game during the 2020 COVID pandemic, but just learning about her and seeing her back healthy is fantastic. But we're going to go and move on as the Golden Eagles are finally set to open up Big East play tomorrow. You're going to be on the broadcast with Emma Kroll on Marquette Radio. They're going to be taking on the DePaul Blue Demons at home. Do you think the Golden Eagles got a shot at repeating as Big East regular season champs?
I do. I think that Marquette will only lose one more game for the rest of the season, and that'll come when they play at Creighton. Marquette's playing really well right now. Last season they only lost at Creighton, or they only lost 2 games to Creighton last season, and I think that they'll get them when Creighton returns back to the Al McGuire Center for the last game of the regular season. So they'll head into the Big East tournament 26-2. On their way to potentially hosting NCAA tournament games.
Man, you're coming out with the heat already, Ben, but I like it. I like it. So it's going to be really awesome to see what they're going to be able to do. And I think they might even sweep Creighton this year. I think they got a real shot at. Obviously, Creighton's a really tough team, but we'll see where it goes from there. But as always, Ben, thank you so much for all your insight on this women's volleyball team. It's really much appreciated.
Of course.
Coming up now, the Sin City finally wins its sports championship. Plus, is Aaron Judge running away with the AL MVP award? We dive in after the break.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
And we're back in Studio 7 as we will discuss the WNBA playoffs, NFL Week 2 drama, and more. Joining me on the panel tonight is Emma Kroll, Tommy Gilchrist, and Andrew Amuzu. Let's get started, y'all. As the WNBA champion is here, the Las Vegas Aces took down the Connecticut Sun in 4 games to win its first ever WNBA championship. With this victory, should we really expect the Aces to become the next great dynasty in the WNBA?
I don't know who made this question because, if we really know sports, a dynasty is a team that consistently wins over a period of time, particularly championships. Am I wrong?
No,
okay,
no,
I know this is a debate section, so I just want to be very clear here. So if we're talking about a dynasty, they've only won 1 championship. It was their first one in franchise history.
That's true.
Okay, and so they're not that dominant at this moment. In fact, I'll actually have to say the Chicago Sky are right there with them. So if we're going to say they're a clear dynasty, then that means that they're far away from their competition. And in that case, they're not, because this is their first one. They lost in the second round last year. The Chicago Sky have CP3, the real CP3, Candace Parker, number 3. And so let's not call them a dynasty just yet. This is way too premature.
I mean, are the Chicago Sky right there with them? Because I'm pretty sure they just got swept by the Connecticut Sun. Or I don't know. I'm just saying they got one of the best backcourts in the league with Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum. I mean, this team is built. They have a strong core with that backcourt, and they have one of the best forces underneath with Aja Wilson, averaging almost over 2 blocks a game. I mean, I really don't see any reason why they're going to slow down and can't be a potential dynasty.
There we go, potential. Well, they're not a dynasty just yet.
Not yet, but upcoming dynasty.
Emma?
No, I definitely agree with what Andrew's saying. I mean, you can't be considered a dynasty if you have 1 ring. That's like saying the Milwaukee Brewers are the new dynasty of the MLB. It's just not true. It's just not. Like,
they haven't even won.
They don't even have one. So like, it's the same idea. You can't just like argue that, oh, they have 1. They're the best. No, they're not the best. They're the best this season. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think, although that they did win a champion, I think this is potentially the beginning of a dynasty. I think that's how you have to look at it, because they have such a strong roster, as Tommy was just telling us. And I think you see all like some of these players, like in comparing it to the NBA. Maybe this is a start like a Golden State Warriors dynasty or a Bulls dynasty. Maybe not 6 championships. I'll stop there. But like the potential to win like 2 or 3 in like a 4-year span or 5-year span. It's definitely possible, especially with how strong that roster is with Vegas. But there's going to be some tough competition. I mean, you still got Seattle, you got Chicago, you got the Connecticut Sun. There's a ton of teams that are going to be gunning for the Aces next year. But
don't the Aces have a lot of their good players on contract for a while? I mean,
they do.
Players were accepting their contracts to stay with the Aces. So why not start to build that dynasty now?
Yeah, you can build, but that doesn't mean that they're a solidified one. You literally just said, you named all the teams, and so far, like, they didn't sweep, or like, they weren't that dominant in the playoffs. So that I don't know why we keep on talking about they're a dynasty when they're not. You know what I mean? They have great players. They won the championship. Congratulations, you won your first one. Like, you guys did something. But now you guys got to prove that you got to do it again. That's what makes real teams, real legends, and real games, real wins. That's what makes real memories. So we just got to wait and see.
Well, speaking of legends and all-time players, although she lost in the finals, Marquette basketball star alum Natisha Heideman averaged 8 points, 2 boards, and 3 assists during the playoffs. Has Heideman established herself as one of the top guards in the league? Tommy, I'll start with you.
I mean, no.
Wow,
I don't
that was fast.
I mean, she's averaged, about 9 points a game this season, 3 assists. I mean, not much. She hasn't shown that she can be an elite playmaker at the upper level of the teams. So, I mean, she has a lot more ground to cover in order for me to consider her an elite guard in this league, and just needs to be more consistent with her playing on both sides of the ball.
When you see this graphic right here, look, she's averaged 9 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and then the next line is about her shooting percentage. The third line is about how many games she started. What does that have to do with anything on if she's becoming a prominent player in the league?
Wow.
Nothing. See that I'm not no hate toward Teaspoon or anything like that. Okay? But if we're gonna sit here and say that she is on the come up, sure, she is, but she has 9 points in the entire regular season, and she started majority of the games. So that's not even top 10, 20, 30, or 40 in the entire WNBA, okay? Damn. And she's only averaging 3 assists. So she's a point guard, right? A guard. You're supposed to be a great playmaker. 3 assists, not really getting it done. Plus, on defense, averaging 1 steal. Okay? So, listen, she can be a great backup, great six person off the bench, right? And so, awesome. But as a starter, as a prominent role, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I'm going to have to agree. I think we can all say and agree that, players like Candace Parker and Kelsey Plum, they're good players that everybody knows. But like Natisha Heideman, I feel like I haven't seen enough of her yet. Yeah.
Well, hopefully she'll be able to show more over the next few years in her career. But we're going to have to move on as we're heading over to the king of sports right now, and that's the NFL. Week 2, as many weeks so far, was full of surprises, including a lot of late comeback wins. In your opinion, who had the biggest Week 2 collapse? The Raiders, the Ravens, or the Browns? Emma, starting with you.
All right, gonna go with the Browns. Now, if you have a 99% chance you're gonna win and you blow it, hello, come on, what are you doing? Even I know that's not good. Listen, I don't watch football. I'll be the first person to admit that. But 99% chance you're going to win and you just lose? You just lose to the Jets. You're losing to the Jets.
And not just the Jets with Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
The elite Joe Flacco.
Hey, don't talk bad about my guy Joe, okay?
Listen, he was
Andrew, don't try to defend him.
Were in middle school.
Actually, he's not even my guy. I don't know why I said my guy. I totally agree. The Browns, in the past 3 seasons, the Jets have won 7 games. 7 games they have won, and they were by far the worst team out of the 3 games that we are comparing right now. Mm-hmm. And so when we're talking about effort and the Jets recover an onside kick, that's effort. And they obviously took that with them for momentum. But I do want to call out the Ravens here because the big story around Lamar Jackson, he wants his money. He wants to prove that he's a superstar in this league, which he already is, already has that MVP. But that people know he's talented. But people also want to know if he can carry the Ravens to wins. They just choked bad. You know what I mean? And so he's a great player. But can he lead his team to wins? Will this happen again? These are the biggest questions. So I honestly think that the Ravens they took the biggest loss in this matchup.
Man. When I looked at this question initially, I thought, yeah, it's the Ravens. But then I looked at it, dived a little bit deeper, And, well, then I saw that the Jets did not only score 2 touchdowns the last 2 minutes, but they also had to record an onside kick and then throw a 66-yard touchdown pass. You had to let Joe Flacco throw a 66-yard touchdown pass to Corey Davis under 2 minutes and then return and then get an onside kick and then score again. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. The Browns really just sold the bag in this. Like, they sold the bag. It was awful. But, I mean, and the Dolphins, I mean, even though the Ravens lost, they have studs. I mean, Jalen Waddle's a stud. Yeah. Tyreek Hill, a stud. Tua, star in the show, he's a stud. Raheem Mostert, stud. I mean, they got guys. But the Jets, they don't really have guys. I mean, that's a big loss.
While we wrap this up, I got to say the Raiders have flown under the radar by blowing a 20-point lead. But anyway, in baseball news, the Milwaukee Brewers were faced with a real tough test this weekend as they welcomed in the New York Yankees into town. In Sunday's game, MLB superstar Aaron Judge hit 2 more bombs, bringing his total to a league-best 59 home runs. Has Judge already secured the AL MVP, or can Angels superstar Shohei Ohtani come up and steal the race?
Well, I'll ask you, can I answer your question with a question?
Sure.
Okay. So, Aaron Judge, he bats, right?
Yeah.
This is just basic stuff.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani also bats, but he also pitches.
Yes.
Does Aaron Judge do that?
No, he does not.
And let alone at a high rate. So, Shohei Ohtani is not only picking up where he left off from last year, but he is showing that he is that dude again. And so, yes, Aaron Judge, great hitter, getting all these records, bravo. Is it going to get you far in the playoffs? I doubt it, but we'll see. But Shohei Ohtani, I mean, you can say the same thing for the Angels, but Shohei Ohtani is proving that he is just as dominant, or maybe even more dominant, because he does it both sides of the field. And so everybody is scared. If you're at bat and you see Shohei Ohtani, oh man, I'm scared. And then if you're the pitcher and you see Shohei Ohtani at the plate, oh man, you're in for a long night. So Shohei Ohtani, I think a lot of people are saying Judge. Shohei Ohtani, I think he deserves this one.
It's a little bit different in baseball where you can have guys who are on absolutely horrible teams still win MVP. Yeah. I mean, we've seen Mike Trout, I think, win a few MVPs, and the Angels have only made the playoffs once in his career. But I have to agree with you, much to the dismay of our executive sports producer, Kristen Parisi, avid Yankees fan. But Shohei Ohtani is putting up Babe Ruth numbers. We haven't seen a player like this in literally 100 years.
Since Babe Ruth.
Since Babe Ruth. He's been the only guy who's been able to not only hit like a monster, but also pitch like a demon. I think he's got around like a 2.5 or 2.35 ERA. Like,
he's that dude.
Credit to Aaron Judge. Yeah. I'll maybe give a little bit more if he's able to break the record, but we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. But unfortunately, that's all the time we got. Thank you all for such a fantastic discussion tonight. Be sure to tune in next week for all of our coverage of Marquette sports and more. I'm Jackson Gross. Good night, Marquette.